ancestors in 1619 was built to keep us blind instead of set us free. Whitewash gospel, slave ship theology taught obedience instead of liberty. Changed the name and changed the face. Told us truth had to fit their race, but now the veil falling from my eyes and the real faith starting to rise. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel Reclaiming My Identity. I am excited for this interview today. This is my first interview with a woman, and this is an interview with a woman that I know, someone I am familiar with, and I am just I'm listen, I'm looking forward to this one because this listen, you guys are going to enjoy this interview. Listen, I don't know how you felt about the other ones, but let me tell you, this one you are going to enjoy. This one you're going to enjoy. So I have with me today Sister Diane Brown. Sister Brown, please tell us where you're from. Tell us where you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Uh, Originally, I was born in Clarksdale, Mississippi. However, my family moved to Chicago when I was 3, and I was a resident in Chicago up until 6 years ago.
Okay.
In Chicago, I was a probation officer as well as working for the Department of Children and Family Services. I biologically have 2 sons. One was deceased in 2018, and I legally adopted 3 children,
Mm,
and life has just been beautiful for me. I've spiritually grown in many areas. Um, I'm not going to say my life has been peaches and cream, but it has brought me here. I moved to Smyrna, Tennessee, 2019, and I've been here ever since. And my first pastor here was Pastor West when
amen.
I
Amen.
joined South Nashville Seventh-day Adventist Church. But I came from a Seventh-day Adventist church in Chicago where
Okay.
I was baptized, whew, let's say almost 40 years ago as a Seventh-day
Wow.
Adventist. So
Wow.
pretty well I've been searching for my spiritual self.
Hmm.
And today I personally feel like I'm free.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna get into that being free part in a little bit, but tell us about your spiritual journey. So you said you were baptized into the Adventist church.
Yes.
So when was that? How long ago was that? You said in
Uh,
Chicago.
I believe it was in the 90s. I'm not sure of the date, but
Okay.
it was the 90s, maybe the early part of the 90s.
Okay.
My spiritual journey has been interesting. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. My parents belonged to a Church of God in Christ under the ministry of Donald Gay. And as I got older, I just didn't feel right going to going to that church. Now, let me explain something to you. Going to that church was interesting, okay? Because I was young and didn't know anything about seminary schools. The pastors back in those days, I do believe, was just anointed with the Spirit, and they got up and they preached. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of them hung out with the precinct captains in the neighborhood. Precinct captains were assigned to different districts. So, they answered the call just like the church did when you needed bills paid, food, and stuff like that. But as I grew older, I started searching for my
Mm-hmm.
spiritual self. I went to several Catholic churches, didn't like it there, and found myself as a Hebrew Israelite. And I was with them for maybe ooh, 6 years. I even
Okay, okay,
traveled.
okay. I'm sorry. Time out. So you found yourself with the Hebrew Israelites around when was this? Do you know?
Maybe I was about
Okay.
20
Okay.
years of age.
Okay.
Was going to college, decided I'll drop. I met some Hebrew Israelites, dropped out of college and
Mhm.
joined them. And that was my first grounded interest in the Bible and in
Mhm.
searching for who I am.
Okay.
And during my growth with them, I learned a lot about the Old Testament
Mhm.
and kept the holidays. And my journey consisted of changing my diet, uh, just growth. And I did live commune. Uh, I went to St. Croix in the Virgin Islands and lived commune and learned a little bit about farming and stuff like that and
Okay.
dealing with the Passover, skinning the
Okay.
lamb and unleavened bread and
Mhm.
just growing it spiritually.
Okay.
And then I came back and got married, had two sons, and ran into a sister named Violette Jordana while I was attending another church. And
So I'm sorry. Hold on. So you said while you were attending another church, this is a
yeah,
Hebrew Israelite congregation?
yes, and
Okay.
back in the States.
Okay. Mhm.
And from there, I met a sister, and then I became a 7 Day Adventist because then I learned a lot
Hold on,
about.
time out, time out. I mean, you taking us on a roller coaster. We got, hold on, hold on. So, how did you go from being a Hebrew Israelite to a Seventh Day Adventist? I mean, tell us about that. Fill in that gap.
Oh, well, one of the reasons why I decided that I would change is because I grew up knowing who Yeshua was.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of people call him Jesus, but his name is Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I grew up knowing who he was. And as a
Mm-hmm.
Hebrew Israelite, I just didn't feel comfortable with them saying that he was a prophet like Moses,
Okay.
you know. But in
Mm-hmm.
my search, I was okay until I just didn't feel comfortable with that. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed this keeping the Sabbath and the holy days and stuff like that. But my spirit was not comfortable with them saying that Yeshua was a prophet.
Okay.
So that's how I went from one to the other.
Okay. So this lady that you met was a Seventh Day Adventist.
Exactly.
Okay. So what drew you to them, to the Adventists? I mean, what was there some similarities? I mean, were there some
Definitely.
differences that drew you that were in opposition to the Hebrew Israelites? Unpack that for us.
Uh there were similarities. Yes, it is. They don't keep the holy days,
Mm-hmm.
which I felt like they should,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't keep the holy days. But one of the things that I found to be comfortable at that time was just keeping the Sabbath and learning more about Yeshua and his walk.
Okay.
See, as
Mm-hmm.
a Hebrew Israelite, they don't talk about Yeshua's walk. They just put him in the same category that they put Moses in.
Okay.
But
So
in
you.
reading the Bible for myself,
Mm-hmm.
I found out that he holds a higher standards than Moses. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
mean they each have their term now, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua is the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he speaks in terms of my Father.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that he did was related to my Father, and everything Moses did was related to my God.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So, and my spirits just told me that I needed everything. You can't understand the Bible if you don't deal with Alpha and Omega.
Okay.
I can't stop in the middle and say, "Hey, the other don't exist,"
Mm-hmm.
because uh, in going to just sanctified church, a Baptist church, Protestant church, whatever, they basically deal with the New Testament and not the old one.
Okay. So you were in so the Sunday keeping church was only in the New Testament. Then you had the Hebrew Israelites who were only in the Old Testament, and they were not touching on the actual life of the Messiah of Yeshua. And so when you had these gaps, then you come into this lady who was a Seventh Day Adventist, and then I guess you study their teachings or whatever, their doctrines, whatever, and you found that that was where he wanted you to be.
Exactly. However, in my studying today, I don't actually classify myself as
Hold on, before you get there,
okay.
today, we're gonna get to today in a minute, all right? So, in the '90s, you become a Seventh Day Adventist,
Yes,
and so for 40 years, you're in the Adventist church,
still
and
is.
so I'm sorry.
Yes, right to this day.
To this day. So, okay, so has there been what have you done um with those beliefs that you had when you were in the Hebrew Israelites, as far as, let's say, the feast days, as far as what Yeshua looked like and what the people of the book look like? I mean, how did that or did that find a place? Um, when you were in the Adventist church, did you just push those feelings, those understandings aside? What happened?
Not at all. Uh, I merged the two.
Okay.
I pray on it,
Mm-hmm.
and Yah has given me more wisdom and understanding down through the years, where they
Mm-hmm.
all applies,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm at peace with that.
Okay.
It's like um, it's just like a baby getting milk,
Mm-hmm.
and each step is a step toward understanding, a step toward maturity. And like I said, you can't study one without the other one.
Meaning the Old and the New Testament, you saying?
Exactly.
Okay. So you have been in the Adventist church for 40 years,
Mhm.
and you are now at a place where you say you're free. What I guess before we get there, what role has the church had in your spiritual growth, or has it had any role?
Seventh Day Adventist Church.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
God, how can I ask this? Well, I guess basically speaking, there is some truth uh in the Seventh Day Adventist Church.
Okay.
Okay. And basically, really, it depends on who the pastor is and how much he wants to reveal what is right and what is wrong.
I need you to
I,
unpack that. What do you mean when you say
Mhm.
it depends on who the pastor is?
You really want me to answer that?
I mean, for those who are listening, they see the person. So our discussion, Sister Brown, is so my platform is one where I talk about how we are the people of the book, so I don't discount that, but I also talk about how at the same time, being the people of the book, I can still because that is my ethnicity, being a Hebrew, I can
That's right.
still grab a hold of and be a part of a religion that Have you ever thought about traveling to Africa but told yourself it was too expensive, too far away, or too undeveloped? Many of us have. At Reclaiming Our Identity Travel, we're changing the narrative. Because South Africa isn't undeveloped, it's vibrant, modern, and deeply rooted in history and culture. It's a place of breathtaking beauty, powerful stories, and people whose warmth and resilience shape the experience in ways no brochure ever could. On this journey, you'll walk the streets of Soweto, experience the energy of Johannesburg, and engage the culture in ways that deepen understanding and challenge old assumptions. You'll enjoy world class food, shaped by generations of tradition, creativity, and global influence. And you'll connect with the people whose lives and stories bring the country to life. Our group tours are intentionally designed to make traveling to Africa accessible and affordable without cutting corners or compromising the experience. We believe meaningful travel shouldn't be reserved for luxury travelers, but attainable for all who are willing to take the journey. South Africa is waiting. Are you ready? This is what people today call quote unquote Christianity. Now, I mean, it's not the Christianity that our ancestors were given when they came to this continent or whatever. I believe in eating the watermelon and spit out the seeds. And so I don't believe in practicing everything everybody else practice. And so I believe in finding a middle ground. But I also understand that there are individuals out here who are searching, and so they feel like, okay, they may feel like you do, okay, where I can't be a Hebrew Israelite because I just feel like they are, they're too extreme, or they don't believe in the following the life of the Messiah, or they only believe in the Old Testament, and I believe that the New Testament also is relevant. And then you have those individuals who are like, I can't mess with Christianity because they got the Sunday folk, and they got that stuff, and a whole lot of stuff. And so there are individuals who need to know, and then you said that, okay, I went from the Hebrew Israelites into an Adventist church. And so those who are watching are going to wonder, okay, how did you go from there to there? And now you're saying that, it depends on who the pastor is. So unpack that so people can kind of have an understanding of what you mean when you say it depends on who the pastor is.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep it real.
Keep it real.
Churches today, including Adventist Church today, I truly believe that they're the reasons why a lot of people don't go to church because truth is not always spoken. When I was under you and you was my pastor, I could break my neck to get in church because I knew that you was going to speak truth. And not every pastor speak the kind of truth that we as people should really hear. Meaning that prophecy, when we talk about prophecy, we talk about what's going on in the world today.
Hmm.
I personally feel like Ezekiel's bones have risen. That's what where I am, but somebody
Hmm.
else in the church might not be on that level. So I blame the pastor when he cannot reveal or even speak on these things, okay? I'm going to say there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun.
Hmm.
Just a new era, new group of people.
Hmm.
But the stories have already been told. We just have to be able to recognize them. Pharaoh's in the White House right now, but
Oh.
people won't see him as Pharaoh.
Hmm.
So that's what I mean. When God elects you, Pastor West, to be his shepherd, he wants you to lead his sheeps in the right way,
Hmm.
not throw up in your congregation's face. I went to seminary schools. That doesn't make it right because
Hmm.
I personally feel like the pastors of yesterday didn't go to seminary school, but they knew how to speak the truth.
Hmm.
I'm a strong believer that God chose his people, and I believe that I have been chosen to do whatever it is that I need to do for to uh, let the light shine on people. It doesn't matter what color they are, but
Hmm.
people. When we go into the New Testament, we talk about the Gentiles. We talk about Paul,
Hmm.
and I'm a strong believer that Anybody that believes in Yeshua is a child of God. It's not the color thing anymore, like I learned when I was a Hebrew Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that there's no one on the face of this earth greater or less than the other person.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that the world is a great big huge pie, and every last one of us have to bring ingredients to complete that pie.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you think that right now that I guess what you're saying is that the churches, are not getting what the people need to hear?
Right? They failing the people. Our churches are becoming empty, and I do believe one of the reasons is because they don't give the people what they actually need. When let me see how I can put it. When I first became a 7 day Adventist and I started going to church, it was like the churches had so much more to offer
Mm-hmm.
the congregation. Uh, they spoke truth. They spoke about people and their struggles and paying bills and buying food and helping out. We don't even go in the communities like we used to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I basically feel that's where our church is failing us. Uh, when we have sick people in our congregation, our pastors don't call them and do stuff like they used to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a strong believer that Yah loves the old ways.
Mm-hmm.
If he didn't, Ezekiel's bones wouldn't be rising right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of those type of people. I'm one of those type of people that I want to give a helping hand because Yeshua was a servant.
That's right. That's right.
And I do believe that that's our purpose. Pray. I want to be a vessel
Mm-hmm.
to the Most High God in every way that I could possibly be one. And it disturbs me. It bothers me when you don't feel the love. I know Satan is in the church, but we're supposed to have so much love that we can put him to shame. Okay. And you don't have that love anymore like you used to. You don't have that trust anymore, the loyalty anymore. And a lot of times we have to blame it on the pastors because they don't give what they used to give. I miss you.
All right. That was unexpected.
I love Pastor Robinson. That's our current acting pastor, who I have to take my hat off and tilt it because he reminds me a whole lot of you. He speaks the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and that's important today. We need to hear the truth. We need that. Your public need to hear the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's imperative.
Let me ask you this. What keeps you there? What keeps you in the church? What keeps you in that church? Um, yeah.
The love that I have for my brothers and sisters.
Okay.
It is not a person that don't come in that church that I don't hug and say welcome and come on back and everything, because I'm a strong believer that love will take its place. We will. I I I truly believe that love takes its place, you know. So we have a new pastor coming, Pastor Edwards,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we all will be in place and welcoming him and he'll stay longer.
So, um, have you ever thought about leaving the church?
Yes, two
What's
years ago, 2 years ago, under a pastor that was in our church, I wasn't very happy. So I did my searching.
Mhm. So let me ask. So would you? So do you feel like I guess um do you feel like you are getting what you need in the church, just in general? Um, and yeah, because you said that, because you mentioned earlier that the churches are not, preaching the truth. Do you feel like, um, you know, uh, that you're stuck, that there's nowhere else to go? Um, you know, and so because there is, no option where, you know, um, a church or a denomination, whatever, is preaching everything. Do you feel like for that reason you're stuck where you are? How do you feel about that?
I won't say I'm stuck where I am because
Mm-hmm.
I have a choice. I can leave anytime I get ready to.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say my pastor now has done a great job in keeping me there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, but I do know what today has brought me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So just keeping it real. But I
Yeah.
also have to stay in my word and I have to trust that God's gonna take me wherever I need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll stay put, but if that spirit hit me to say, come up and get out, I'm gone. Simple as that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I ain't afraid to trust my God, all right? I came down here, dog and me, and we've been here 6 years. My dog and me. Didn't know a
Yes.
soul in their mama, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But we're here, you
Yes.
know. So I mean, I'm just a strong believer. And another thing too, when you start getting up in age, the only thing that you should do is give God the honor, the praises, and the glory. You know, a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't make it there where they can make corrections in their lives. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So me myself, I don't have no problems with that. You know, like I told you, I try very hard not to complain. I just want to still believe, still trust my God, let Him order my steps, help me to be the beautiful person that I am, and, just grow old gracefully until it's time for me to check out. When I check out, I know where I'm going. So
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even worried about it. That's what I mean by being free, you
Yes.
know? So
Do y- do you know of any other people who are, I guess, either have left the church or are struggling with being in the church because they're not hearing certain things, being preached about, or taught or talked about us being the people of the book?
several. In fact, I have even spoke to several people about starting Bible class in my own house.
Okay.
So several, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And several of them that even go to church with me, I have said to them, don't leave, just come on back. Let's
Mm-hmm.
make the best of it. It ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
always be like this. Because
Mm-hmm.
change is something that happens daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we don't have to run all the time, but stay put sometime because we got to trust and believe that God is in there.
Amen. Amen. Do Is there anything that specifically, okay, that you wish that, um I guess, that the church would preach or teach, that would be, that you believe or that would be beneficial, for the members there?
Hmm.
What do you
Yes.
think is missing? Mm-hmm.
Well, basically speaking, I think the old ways is the best ways. I think that the pastors should be talking about current events. I think that they should be talking about how can we get our young men to pull up their clothes and dress like we did in the 60s or whatever with belts around our
Mm-hmm.
waist. I think Hollywood has played a very negative role, and the music world has played a very negative role on our young folks, and to the point where other blacks mark mark uh uh our young folks, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the church should help our young folks more than anything. I think that we should, oh God, how do I put it? Start protesting on these movies and protesting on music and stuff like that. I think the church should play a significant role on that. Our daughters dressing the way that they dress. And the sad part about it, um, I don't even know the name of these things that come on TV, Miss BET, when they have the awards and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and how they have our young black folks on the stage looking ridiculous, and
Mm-hmm.
and then turn around and then they have some type of white, excuse me, and I'm not racist or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, but have a white same type of thing, and all of their people be dressed so nice and neat, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but we're clowns, you see. And I think when I was coming up, the church did, even Seventh Day Adventist church did address stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think basically that's where the church is sort of kind of failing us as far as giving us incentives to do better.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like you, I feel like how you dressed, and when the young folks came to church under your regime, they was dressed nice and whatever. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's so many ways that I think that our churches should bring us back to a community, back to loving one another, back to our parents, back to uh, women not being the head of the household, and just dealing with our struggles as far as our culture is concerned, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I think that's where the church has failed us. Because let me say this to you, and it just came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad story when a lounge or a tavern have a dress code and the church don't.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I find it very difficult to wear a pair of pants to church at my age,
Mm-hmm.
because we were never told to wear pants to church. That was like sacred grounds when you come to church.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think appearance plays a part. Our young folks, how they acting plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we was coming up, they used to have church folks on the corner with those great big mics talking about God and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're out there now. They're just called Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah, but see, that's only one-sided, if
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
understand what I mean.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
See, it ain't a color thing. That's been gone. So
Mm-hmm.
that shows you that they lack understanding in their Bible, okay?
Yeah.
Or in their ways. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's what's going to bring them in, as far as learning the Old Testament, because you keep in mind, God's going to choose who he wants. And everybody ain't going to be chosen.
See, I think that's why it's so important because I did a live yesterday, last night. It was a Monday night, and I talked about how I don't agree with the majority of what the Hebrew Israelites, those camps believe,
I don't either.
with the majority. But I
Mm-mm.
agree that with them that we're the people of the book. And the one
Exactly.
thing I love is that they are out there on the corners,
Unity.
unity,
That's
talk. I
right.
mean, even though I believe they are in error, all right, they are doing everything they can to wake our people up.
And
And
I
I think
appreciate that.
yes. And I think that's what our churches are missing. You're
Yes.
talking about how, the, guys
Mm-hmm.
coming in, their pants sagging and stuff like that. And I think honestly, and all of the things that our young black men and women are doing, I think is because we don't know who we are. And I think literally it is that's why I think that this topic is so important, because when our people know, when that young black man, that young black woman knows that they are in that book, not just spiritually. I mean, we get that, if you accept the Messiah as savior, whatever, but I'm talking about you're genetically, you're physically from that lineage. It really means something. It really means something.
Yeah.
And I think if our people knew that, it would change how they thought, how they dress, how they acted, how they carry themselves.
Well, I would disagree with you to a certain degree,
Okay.
due to the fact it depends on the age of the individual that's teaching. Because, oh, how can I put this? You first of all, you got to be reborn again. You
Hmm.
have to unlearn what you've learned from whitewashed, if I can use that word.
Use whatever words you want to use, just don't
Okay,
curse.
that's I'm not gonna do that. I don't do that anyway. But anyway, we have to unlearn what we've learned, and depending on the age of the individual, they don't want to do that.
Hmm.
You see, because this is one of the reasons why I said the church is failing us, because the truth, even though, because I don't care what channel you turn to now, they're talking about us and who we are. Okay? And
Hmm.
that's beautiful, wonderful. Trust me, it is. But when I was coming up, my grandmother used to say, sit down and watch this movie. Okay? Black
Hmm.
movies. My
Hmm.
grandmother's thing was, if you don't know where you came from, you never know where you're going.
That's right.
Okay? So those are the things that she taught us. Okay? And not only that, my grandmother always told us, y'all get your education. If you don't do nothing else, get your education. Well, we live in a society now where education don't mean nothing.
Hmm.
You can have a high school diploma now and teach in a public school.
Oh, wow.
And that's so sad. So I'll say it depends on the age of the person, because everybody, like I said, don't want to make that change. They don't even want to hear it when you start telling them
Hmm.
about the Old Testament, how it relates to the New Testament.
Hmm.
And Jesus' name is not Jesus. There is no J in the Hebrew alphabets. I know, okay, because
Hmm.
I speak it. So, okay, but there's a defense.
Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna call him Jesus. Well, baby, you go right ahead and call him anything you want to call him, because that's not who I am, but be who you are. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I'm just trying to tell you differently. So it depends. And then you got some young people that I've spoken with that don't want no parts of the church, because they done found out who they are, and the church done lied to them all this time, because they
Hmm.
don't want to understand that it was not the church that was lying. It's the whitewash that we all have carried down, you
Hmm.
know. And God has his own time for everything. You understand? But you just got, what does the Bible say? Be ready.
Hmm.
Stay ready. But I'm a strong believer, like I always say, everybody is not chosen. So, it depends. But I'm just praying that we can get our kids back where they'll have something to look forward to besides being shot down in the streets, being hung on a tree,
Hmm.
being drowned by other white kids,
Yeah.
because it's here.
It's
Satan
here.
is walking up and down this world. He's making himself known, whether you want to know it or not. Okay. Once upon a time he used to hide. He ain't hiding no more.
He ain't had no more.
You know what I
Not at
mean?
all.
Okay. So I just feel like that's where the church is failing us, because We all need to know who God is. We all need to know Yeshua. We all need that so badly.
Hmm.
You know, you got kids today say, well, I don't want to go to church. You don't have that choice if you're a child. If you under
Yeah.
the age of 18 years of age, in my days, as long as you lived up under my mother's roof, okay, you went to church.
Yeah.
And if you played sick, you was sick all week.
Yes, that's
You
right.
know, them good old days. I wish we could bring them back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's do you think that it will ever change?
Come, Yeshua, come.
That's it.
Come,
That's it.
Yeshua, come. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, hey, you see it every day. He said he was going to show us in the weather.
Hmm.
You check out the weather?
Yeah, I don't see things getting better
No, they're
at
never going
all.
to get better.
Mm-mm.
We already know that. You should be preparing your home for that.
That's right.
But you
That's right.
know, hopefully, I've been praying, Father, whenever you're ready for me, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not suicidal, but I'm ready to go,
I
okay?
know that's right.
Because it's
Listen,
not going to get better.
th- I mean, listen, you know me. I'm a firm believer that no, it's not gonna get better. It definitely ain't gonna get better here.
Right.
And so as a result, we gotta make our exit stage left from the United States of America.
And I'm ready
Um,
to go.
let's go.
I'm ready.
We
I got 4 more years. My daughter told me 4 more years she'll be out of the service and we are ready to go. So
li-
I'm ready to go.
listen. I'm telling you. Listen, I tell folks, look, we might not make it 4 years.
I know. I know.
I mean, it's especially with
I know.
this Trump thing or whatever. You know, you gotta when you can exit, you exit. Listen, that when you have our European brethren getting second passports, you know it's a problem. When they have second passports because they're trying to get up out of here, they're trying to find a way up out of here.
Yeah.
You know there's a problem. And so what we don't want to do is we don't want to be the last ones trying to figure things out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And how see that's another thing that the church should be preaching. Get your passports and head for the hills.
Hey.
Okay? See, I'm telling you, Pastor West, I miss you, okay? Because one thing for sure and two things for certain. I'm ready to pack my bags, okay?
Hey, let's go. Listen, I preached about a month ago. I told him what was my sermon? Independence Day.
Hmm.
And listen, I told him, listen, I mean, the only way in Exodus chapter 5, the only way the children of Israel were able to be released from Pharaoh is they had to leave Egypt.
Didn't they move?
They
Didn't
could
they
not be
move?
free. They could not be free in Egypt. The Most High had to remove them from
Mm-hmm.
Egypt to be free. In
Mm-hmm.
the same way, we will never, ever, ever be free in this country.
Not in this country. And we
No.
already know it.
Yeah. So the only way
E-
we're
e-
gonna be free is get up
Only
out
a
of here.
blind man can't see. And most blind folks I know can see. Because they see through their ears, okay?
Mm, yes,
So I
yes,
mean, it's
yes.
just one of them things. I'm ready to go. I mean, I'm really ready to go. If I always tell my children, if I wasn't this age, I'll be gone. Y'all be
Hey, you hold on. You not old, sister Diane Brown. You not old. So listen. I see YouTube videos where it's individuals. Oh, there's a lady who was in Rwanda when we were there. Her name was they call her Mama Africa. She
okay.
she is at least, I mean, 80 years old.
Beautiful. No, I ain't
At
that yet.
least,
I'm
you
not
know.
there yet.
I mean, and
I'm
so and she
working
had been
on
there
it.
for a minute. So I mean, and there are others who, listen, they realize it's time to go. It's time to
Well, when
go.
we ready, I'm gonna start selling stuff because I'm ready to go too.
You said
As
you
long
got to
as I
go.
got a family to go with,
You
I'm
got to go
ready.
visit first. You got to
Who
visit
said?
first. No, you
Who
don't. You
said?
no no. Listen.
I didn't visit here first. I just came here and picked this
th-
house and said, okay, I'm gonna
No,
buy it.
there's a difference between moving in the country and moving to a whole nother country where the culture is different, everything. You
Yeah,
got to visit. Anybody will tell you, anybody who has ever moved, outside of the country, they always tell you, especially Africa, you got to go visit first because
go
every
visit first.
place is not, it may not be what you're looking for. So you have to visit first. You got to
Okay.
visit,
Well, we supposed to be
So
going to Africa next year.
yes.
My niece is
Yes.
supposed to be taking me, so I'm ready to
Yes.
go.
Yes, y'all listen, for
But I
those who
ain't
are
scared
watching as
now.
well, for those who are watching, Reclaiming Our Identity Travel,
Got
we
to.
have our a February South Africa trip. If you have not done so, check that out, Reclaiming Our Identity Travel. Our February South Africa trip. We
But
are
let me
Go
ask you a
ahead.
question. How do we get see? Because your air flight ain't in the trip.
The air flight is no. The
So
air
that's what my whole thing to that was, how do I connect and then do the air flight thing?
No, so all you do is you purchase your you purchase, I mean you book your trip, and then you just book you book your you purchase your flight. So for instance, the we're going in October, this October, and
Mm-hmm.
so I purchased my ticket probably about 3 weeks ago, and the other individuals who are going, some of them purchased it last week or whatever, week before, whatever, and so you just purchase your ticket. And so I had a conference call with them, so that way we can go over the logistics and everything. Told them when we're all leaving on this such and such day. Well, better yet, we're all wanting to get in at this day at around this time, whatever, so everybody's on one accord. Yeah, so it's not like you're just out there by yourself.
Yeah.
um you know it's not like
See,
that.
see, that's my thing. I don't feel comfortable traveling by myself. But if I'm in a group or with somebody I know, I'm ready to go.
So you should have been coming with us then. You should have been
Yeah.
coming with us. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I'll call your mama.
Yes. But listen, Sister Diane, I
Thank you.
definitely appreciate this interview. Yes, yes. The first woman interview on this channel, and I'm just glad to have you. Glad to
And
have you.
Pastor West, let me say this. It's been an honor. I am so appreciative and humble that you asked me to do it.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much. I really appreciate that. I love you. And
L-
whatever, let's stay in God together, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Okay.
Well,
Love you.
those of you all who are watching, if you have not done so, please like, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video. Blessings.
Blessings.